Welcome to the Louie File. Are you a church hopper? Are you somebody that just can't seem to settle in one place? Lots of people have trouble finding their place in the body of Christ, and I understand that. But sometimes the only way we find it is by staying put long enough to find it. I talk with different people throughout my days, and I hear things about different churches around my town, good and bad, which is probably anywhere you go. This church over here might be full of older people, so the worship service and the preaching, it may be a little quieter, maybe a little slower moving than you want, or maybe it's exactly what you want, depending on your age and your taste. And then you go to another church across town and it's loud, it's too loud. I mean, it's just too loud. The music's too loud, too fast, people jumping up and down, it's distracting, I can't concentrate, and it's full of young people normally. It's exciting. And then you got some that are sort of in the middle, they try to mix it up, and they have hymns, and they have more praise and worship or contemporary Christian artists that they listen to or use, and they have a mixture. They might have little kids, they might have old people. I mean, there's all kinds of flavors when it comes to church gatherings. But the other day I had a conversation with someone that told me about these things and wasn't complaining, but people just go from one to the other and they never seem to land. In the Gospel of John, there's a story recorded for us in chapter 4 where Jesus is talking to a Samaritan woman at the well, and he starts really getting into her business. He tells her to go call her husband, and she says, "I don't have one." And he says, "Oh, you got that right." He said, "You've been married 5 times, and the man you're with now you're not married to." And her response to that is, "Well, I perceive that you're a prophet." You think? But then she said, "My people, my forefathers, worshipped in this mountain over here, but your people," meaning the Jews, "say we ought to worship in Jerusalem." So as soon as he started getting a little too personal, she changed it to a religious or theological question. Where should we go to worship? Meaning what location, what church should we attend? And Jesus responded to her very amazingly, and I think this would be my response. He said to her, "A time is coming, and now is." He said, "God is spirit, and he seeks those that worship him in spirit and truth." And he said, "A time is coming, and it now is that it's happening." So it doesn't really matter if you go to the church full of quiet older folks, or you go to the loud, hopping up and down younger folks' church. But are you worshiping in spirit and truth? And that's, I guess, the real key, isn't it? Is the spirit and his truth being revealed there? But if you don't stay long enough, you might not be able to tell with just 1 or 2 visits. I also know people that have been to several churches, but you know what? Every time they go to a different one, they serve, they get engaged, they are active in the calling and the gift that God has given them. And I can't say anything bad about that at all. If you can't find a spot where you're at, then it may be wise to look somewhere else. But ultimately, we have to do what God has called us to do wherever we may be. But, if we don't stick around long enough to do it, we're not going to get it done. If we're looking for everything to be perfect, the sound, the sights, the smells, the people, because I got a little insight for you. You might not know this, but if there's people there, there's going to be trouble, because people always do tend to rub other people wrongly. But that's part of what getting along and learning to walk in the Spirit is all about, isn't it? Is learning how to overlook certain things and to confront other things. So I would just ask, this is just a little bit of a service announcement from the Louie File. Find a place to go and spend a little more time there than just a visit or two. And see if you can move in your gifting in that place, that location. Whether it's a mountain or whether it's in Jerusalem is not the issue. The issue is God is spirit, and he's seeking people to worship him in spirit and truth. He's seeking you. I'll talk to you next time. See you later.